غالب لكم. Rather, if He supports you, then no one can ever defeat you. Even if your power is very little. I'm talking about the worldly powers, the means of victory, the worldly means of victory. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on your side, then no one can ever defeat you. This is a tradition that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated in the Quran, and it's been practiced throughout since Allah created the heavens and the earth, and it will continue until the day of resurrection. So our brothers and sisters, if you want to support your brothers and sisters, and you keep crying and say, we don't have any means of support, open the door of fighting, I want to go and I want to die for the sake of Allah, I doubt that many of us are sincere in this claim. You want to prove that you're really serious about it? Can you do jihad with your own self with regards to praying Fajr in the masjid, in Jama'ah? Can you do jihad and get up to resist the temptation of the blanket and the warmth of your bed and say, I'm going to pray Fajr before its due time is out? Well, if you manage to pray on time, if you manage to change the tone on your cell phone from musical tones to just a simple regular tone, to worry about important things. I was praying the other day in one of the masjid. We're praying and we're making qunut in every salah. We're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to support the ummah and give them victory and so on. And every once in a while you hear somebody's phone is going off. You hear the rings. Music, songs, love, fiction, all of that while we are praying in the masjid. So that has invaded the very important part of our religious life, which is when you have some privacy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the salah, they ruin our salah. If you manage to say, I'm not watching any soccer games anymore or any games, because rather focus on what you see. Our enemies are making fun of us. On the same day that these terrorists attacked a school that's sheltered by and announced by the UN as a shelter, to shelter innocent and civilians, killing more than 40 innocent people. In the same day,
many children. George
Bush was giving the condolence to his family with regards to their cat. They've lost their black kitten, India. The whole world was concerned about this tragic news, and the sad news that the White House lost a cat and a kitten. Are you kidding me? What happened to the ummah? What happened to the sacred blood of Muslims? The Prophet ﷺ said, the destruction of the Kaaba, which is the holiest place on earth, with regards to us, with regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is much easier than killing a single Muslim, whether young or old, man or a woman. As I said repeatedly, and I will never get tired of repeating this, Wallahi, by Allah in whose hand is my soul, there is only one way for dignity, is to recognize our deen and to preserve our identity, is to start reconciling ourselves with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with His book, with the sunnah of His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who smoke, you know that every cigarette that you're smoking, you're supporting the enemies against your brothers and sisters. Seize this opportunity to say that I really want to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala I am serious in my intention of supporting the weak and the oppressed ones, my brothers and sisters, my daughters and boys, by quitting smoking immediately. That if you have any financial means, you have to support. There are some legal organizations that raising funds and medications, blankets, food, etc. You have to support, you have to chip in. Well, jihad now is due, whether with force, whether with money, whether with dua, by every possible means.
Sheikh, I just want a side point here. I mean, we spoke about rectifying ourselves. How important is rectifying ourselves? I mean, are you saying here that if we rectify ourselves, if we stop doing these sins, even though we may seem small sins, we're going to gain victory through that?
There is no other way but this. When Musa alayhi salam made several attempts to enter Jerusalem, to liberate it from the disbelievers, because his dream was to liberate Jerusalem in his life and to die there. And that's why he took Bani Israel out of Egypt. Many people don't get it. They think that the purpose was to destroy the Pharaoh and his soldiers. Nay, because let me tell you this. What happened after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drowned the Pharaoh and all the soldiers of Egypt. What happened? Now Egypt was free for Musa to return back with the Israelites and take over. But instead he did not return. He marched forward because he was heading for Baytul Maqdis, the holy city, Al-Madinah Al-Muqaddasa, to liberate it from Al-Amaliq. But when these people were not qualified enough, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deprived them from the honor of living and entering the city. When they said to Musa alayhi salam, we're so weak, you go and your Lord, اذهب أنت وربك فقاتلا إنا هاهنا قاعدون. We're going to hang around here in the desert. And you go and your Lord, you liberate it. This is what many of the defeated mentalities, whether from amongst the Arab, and I focus on the Arab because they're living in the area in the Middle East, rulers and scientists and diplomats, they're messed up. Many of them are totally messed up. They say, we cannot do anything. We just wait. Wait for what? Some of the military personnel say, we just wait for our turn. Can you imagine with this kind of defeated mentality that how is it possible to liberate Jerusalem or even to protect the Kaaba? With this, in this current situation, with this defeated mentality, if tomorrow they invade, God forbid, Mecca, I don't think the Ummah would really react.
Not true.
We would do the same. I can assure you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was very upset with Bani Israel when they said, اذهب أنت وربك فقاتلا إنها هنا قاعدون. At that, Musa alayhi salam apologized to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying what? ربي إني لا أجد إلا نفسي وأخي فافرق بيننا وبين القوم الفاسقين. I don't own. إني لا أملك إلا نفسي وأخي فافرق بيننا وبين القوم الفاسقين. I don't have but myself and my brother Harun, who was a prophet as well. So make a distinction between us, me and my brother, and the rebellious ones. He addressed